Some wisdom for Wednesday. Lashes back together. Okay. Vita on the lashes. But wanted to share some wisdom for Wednesday. You know that song by Fantasia called Baby Mama. I love that song. B-A-B-Y-M-A-M-A. This goes out to all the baby mamas. So listen, I love that song. You know what I mean? It's always inspired me. Not that it's something that I wanted to aspire to be as a baby mama, because that's not the case. You know what I mean? I refuse to carry that title, baby mama, as one that's in shame. You know what I mean? That song, it really helped me keep my head up during a season when the world was determined to look down on single moms or baby mothers. Now, but here's the truth. We shame baby mamas. We shame single moms. We shame teenage mothers. And then we turn around and expect them to raise emotionally healthy, responsible, productive members of society, often alone, often under-resourced, and often while carrying unresolved trauma. That contradiction matters. It does. Now let me ask you this. We talk all the time in the workplace about transferable skills, right? You hear it in interviews, you see it on resumes, you're told to think about how your skills transfer from one job to another, right? But no one ever talks about the resume of a baby mama. So let's build one. Because if you took the skills it takes to be a baby mama, a single mama, a teenage mama, and you translated those skills into a workplace leadership language, it would look and sound a little something like this. First, let's get into it. Resilience. Motherhood, especially young and alone, teaches you how to keep going when quitting is not an option. I didn't have the luxury of giving up. People were depending on me. That kind of resilience transfers directly into leadership. It shows up as grit, as stamina, as the ability to lead through pressure, crisis, and uncertainty. Next, systems navigation and policy literacy. As a single mother on DSS and Section 8, I had to learn systems quickly. Deadlines, eligibility requirements, reading the fine print. I learned the hard way what happens when you miss a detail, like losing a child care deposit because I didn't meet an exact notice requirement. That was a lesson. That experience taught me how systems actually work and who they don't work for. Today, that translates into strong leadership, compliance awareness, and ethical decision-making. Next, strategic planning under constraint. I worked full-time. I went to school at night. My parents watched my son so I could build a future. When resources are limited, you learn how to plan, how to stretch time, money, and energy. That is strategy. That is project management. That is leadership. All right. Next, emotional regulation and executive presence. Single mothers learn early how to regulate emotion. Not because we don't feel, but because reacting can cost us everything. Jobs, housing, stability, financial support. That discipline becomes emotional intelligence in the workplace. The ability to pause, assess, and respond with intention. That is leadership maturity. Next, ethical prioritization and people-centered leadership. As mothers especially, When navigating co-parenting, we learn how to swallow our pride for the sake of our children. Even when it's unfair, even when it hurts, even when we're unsupported, we learn how to put the mission over the ego. In leadership, that becomes the ability to ask, who will be most impacted by this decision? Who is vulnerable? Who pays the price? That is equity-centered leadership. Next, equity intelligence and systems awareness. I saw inequity clearly when I worked in a financial advisor's office. What I saw was families pass down generational wealth. They set up 529 accounts they secured internships through their relationships that they had, which created safety nets for their children that we never had access to. And I understood something deeply. Poverty is not a lack of effort, it's a lack of access. That awareness shapes how I lead today, with fairness, intention, and accountability. Next, advocacy and voice. Single mothers learn how to advocate for themselves and for their children. In schools, in systems, in rooms where power doesn't look like us. That becomes confident communication, negotiation, and courageous leadership. Music helped me survive when language failed me. Songs like Keep Your Head Up by Tupac reminded me to keep going. Brenda's Got a Baby told the truth about systems that fail young mothers. And A Rose is Still a Rose reminded me that my worth was never erased by trauma, abuse, or my past. Those songs weren't entertainment. They were survival language, and they helped me get through. Here's what I know now. Leadership is not just about credentials. It's about who you understand, who you see, and who you protect when decisions are being made. When leaders represent the communities that they serve, when they bring lived experience, not just theory, they don't just lead better. They actually lead more ethically, and that's the whole point of She Serves Healed. It's about taking trauma, naming it, healing it, and allowing that healing to make you more present, more thoughtful, more grounded leader. Because you don't have to become someone else to lead. Your lived experience is your resume. Statistically, we were never supposed to make it. Stereotypically, we were expected to fail. The narrative said, teenage mothers struggle forever. Single mothers raise broken children. Black women carry too much baggage to lead effectively. But when you recognize what you actually bring to the world, when you heal what you've survived, you don't just rewrite your story. You change the landscape of leadership itself. You can change who is seen as qualified. You change what leadership looks like. You change what leadership represents. And that is especially true for women, and even more true for Black women. Because the very experiences we were told disqualified us, the resilience, the endurance, the empathy, the ethical clarity, those are the exact skills that this moment in leadership demands. And that's She Serves Healed. Not fixing broken women, but reminding whole women of who they already are. Taking lived experience, healing the trauma, and turning it into leadership power. Changing lives, changing leadership, one woman at a time. This message is from She Serves Healed. If you like this message, please like it, and share it. Wisdom Wednesday. Have a great day.